everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the success story session. So today we have with us Mr. Ashutosh who has cleared the SEBI Grade A examination from the legal stream in his first attempt. So today we are going to know that how he was able to clear the examination in his first attempt and what was his strategy, what was his preparation journey. Let's know all about him and let's learn from him that how he was able to clear the examination, the most coveted job I can say. So congratulations Ashutosh for clearing the examination. So now, can you tell a little about your educational background?
So I'm a graduate of NLU Odisha in 2022, and after that I started preparing for various government exams. But for a brief, I also joined like two firms basically, because I was like I had this pressure that I didn't join the private sector or didn't took the placement. So I was like let's go for it. But then the notification came of SEBI and ECGC. So I was like let's leave it for a while the job and all. And again back to my home, started preparing, started hustling and everything. So yeah, that was it.
Okay. So when did you complete your graduation and when did you start your preparation for the examinations?
So in May 2022, I completed my graduation, and after 2 months, I became a little serious about my preparation and all. But so I was like primarily preparing for judiciary exams.
Mhm.
But then January, I decided to move to so I decided to like work somewhere. So it was in Gurgaon, so I went there. I started working there. But then I realized it is not something which is cut out for me, and I should give the government job a try because I haven't gave any exam at that point of time. So I was like, let's sit for it and do it.
Okay. And your family was supportive of your decision, like you are not taking the placements in the good organizations, I can say, or you are not continuing with the private sector, which you can. So was the family supportive of your decision?
So family was like throughout the whole process, family was like very supportive. They didn't like question anything. They were just like, just settle somewhere. Okay, you are going here and there, so just pick something and start doing that thing. But my family was very supportive. Like there was nothing which was pressurizing me to join a law firm. But still I did because of my own sake. But then I came back, but my family was like pretty supportive. Like it's totally your decision, your life. You can do whatever you want. So that was it.
And did you ever regret your decision of not joining the placement or not joining the company? Like, did you ever regret it during your preparation journey?
So I'm not regretting anything right now, as of now. But I used to like regret a lot when I was preparing because I was like, I should have taken because this preparation journey takes a lot from a candidate. Like it requires patience. It requires a particular mindset which keeps you going because the moment you feel a little depressed, it can actually affect your studies. So I believe me, I regretted a lot because I could have taken placements in my college, but I refused to. uh, but now as the results came and I cleared like three exams back to back, I'm like more confident now, and I thank god I didn't like take any placement from my college.
True. So in 2023, you were able to clear three of the examinations. So which were
Yes.
those?
So I cleared ECGC. It is so there were only four seats for legal. So out of those four seats, I was the one. And then other than this, there was this airport authority exam, Airport Authority of India. So the results are still awaiting, but I cleared like the document verification all around, and now the SEBI legal exam. So yes, these are three exams which I'm able to clear.
Okay. So like now you are thinking of joining the SEBI grade A and that is the place that you want to be.
Obviously, that is actually the place I want to be. I'll not take any more risk. I have this like my family has given me an ultimatum that now you have to join somewhere. You're not leaving this. So I'm definitely joining it. And I'm very excited to also.
Okay, so one after the other, like you were clearing so many of the examinations, like you cleared ECGC, you cleared the like the other round for the the Air India
Airport
Authority.
authority.
Yes, Airport Authority. Sorry, and then you were also like you also cleared the SEBI grade. So what was the reaction of the family? Like they were happy or they were confused that where should you be joining?
Initially, they were like very happy, like seriously very happy. everyone took a sigh ki now he's going somewhere finally. He's not going to live with us. So they were like, there was a little bit of positivity in my family. But then when ECGC came and I got the appointment letter, and then SEBI also came and I got the appointment letter, then my family got a little confused. Where will you join? Because both of them are very esteemed organizations and their pay grade is also very good. But finally, I took ECGC. So yeah, sorry, SEBI. Finally, I took SEBI,
Yes.
not ECGC. Yeah.
So, like, can you now share any of the learnings that you got during your preparation journey? Because you were able to clear the ECGC, you were able to clear the SEBI Grade A examination. So, what are the learnings that you got during your preparation journey?
So, so my learnings are on two standpoints. Firstly, from a mental standpoint, that you have to be mentally very clear what you want to do. I was not clear initially, but then I became clear. Secondly, if you're sitting for this whole process, everyone should know that this preparation journey is very long. It is not going to be easy. There will be a lot of people talking about you. And in my case, there were a lot of people who were like talking about me because I could have taken the placements and but I didn't. So if even from my relative side, it was a bit of a tana every day that I have to hear.
Mhm.
So the learning is that you have to mentally very clear. You have to have patience in your mind. Second is that if you are preparing for government exams, particularly for legal people, start preparing for maths. It is something which comes in every exam, and it is one of the most important thing. So yeah.
Okay. And can you share any of the memorable moment that you have during your preparation journey?
So there was this one memorable moment that I remember very clearly. So I have this my own room, and my mom can come anytime. So I used to sleep like because I used to study at night, so I used to sometimes sleep at till 10 a.m. in the morning. So whenever my mom comes, so one day my mom came in and she woke me up and tell me like ask me what are you blabbering, like what are you saying in your sleep. So my brother told my mom that he is actually reciting section numbers of uh I it was I think it was IPC or Constitution. So this was the crazy study that I was doing basically. So I was actually saying section numbers in my sleep. So that was like something which was very memorable, and even I was shocked. Ki, what am I doing? So yeah.
But that shows your hard work and your dedication that even in your sleep you have this in mind that okay, these are the things that I have to cover and this is the study that I have to do. So that is really commendable. The hard work that you put, the dedication that you put, and many of the aspirants out there that are putting the hard work and the
Yes.
dedication. Now, can you share any of the lowest point in your preparation journey and how you overcame that?
So as I told you, my I've been like continuously thinking that I should have taken placements and everything. So I was like continuously receiving because this process is very long.
Hmm.
And during my preparation also, when I was studying for these exams, during I used to hear a lot, like someone is saying to my mother or my father that why didn't he take any placements? He could have gone already gotten something, and this new world is for private companies and everything. He's wasting his life, and now he'll not get anything in corporate because it's so whenever there is a gap in the CV, it becomes pretty difficult for you to go into corporate. So all these things were happening, and initially I was not very confident, to be honest. I was not at all confident. I was like, it requires a lot of luck to clear
Hmm.
these exams. So initial 2 3 weeks were like pretty dull for me. Like I was literally sad. I was like, thank God I was not depressed. Even though if I was, I didn't feel it maybe. But yeah, it was something at my lowest. I was.
Okay. So how were you able to come out of that mindset or come out of that situation? So what kept you motivated?
Firstly, my family, my father and my brother specifically were like a pretty strong pillars for me. Like they keep on motivating me that you can do it. Don't worry, we believe in you. You have come so far and you have left the jobs. It means that you can, and you have thought through this, and we know you have thought through this. Secondly, I personally believe that everyone must have some sports in their life that they play because sports is actually something which keeps you going and keeps you motivated, and it was something which is very personal to me. So I play sport basketball. So whenever I feel depressed or whenever I feel like not doing something, I just went to the court and play something basically, or go out for a little bit.
Okay, to clear your head, we can say.
Yeah, yes, basically to clear my head.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, many of the students think that if they are getting into any of the leisure activities or they are getting into any of the other activities other than studying, so they are
Hmm.
actually losing their time that they can put in studies. So, did it never come in your mind?
Uh, so no, the clear answer is no. First of all, it doesn't affect your studies, but it actually elevates your studies. So whenever you are like continuously cramming things, your mind needs certain rest, and you need to revise those things also. So in order to keep yourself going in this whole process, I would suggest everyone to take out 1 hour for any physical activity that you can do. So I used to like sometimes go for a run or play something, or used to go out for 1 hour. I used to do it. Sometimes I don't do it, but your mind is also needs rest, and you're continuously like putting hard work. And I still remember I didn't have much time when I was preparing for SEBI.
Mm,
I only had like 1 month for mains. Because I was not preparing pehle se.
mm,
When the notification came, even though I was not preparing at that time also, so I used to put 16 hours a day sometimes. So it becomes pretty hectic. So I would suggest take some time out, not much time.
okay. So now, let's come to our next question. That is, that you were getting any suggestions from your friends also, from your college friends, that let's go to the private sector, or were they supportive of your decision of the government sector?
So my friends were actually very supportive. And whenever I used to discuss, because you need someone to let your let things out, because you're like sitting and not doing anything, just like reading. So you need to let things out. So I had my friends. They were like very supportive. But I also used to ask them to refer me somewhere. I can't like sit now. I'm done now. So they used to refer me. I gave interviews. Then I again refused. No. Let me prepare again. So yeah,
Mm,
they were
okay.
supportive.
N- Now let's go. Let's move to the strategy. We have like got the overview of your journey, we can say, and it's a commendable journey. Like always in the mind of the aspirants, there are some regrets that they feel that okay, why they have put so much of the time. But it's like what you want at last. You want, if you want a coveted job, if you want to become a officer in RBI or SEBI, you have to put those hours. You have to put the effort. Okay, so that is
Mhm.
true in your case also. Like you have literally told every aspirant and the mindset every aspirant has. So you have showcased them that yes, the people that have cleared the examination, they have also went through the same troubles, the same problems, and you can get out of it. So now let's move ahead and let's move to the strategy part. So let's start from the phase one. So how are you preparing for the paper one, the GA, English, quant, and reasoning?
So I didn't particularly prepare for quant and everything, because as I said that ECGC exam was already like before SEBI phase one. So I initially prepared. I was preparing for ECGC for 1 month. So I got pretty good in maths, reasoning, and English. And like for me, maths is a very strong point for me. Like I can score good in maths like with the 1 week preparation. So it was a plus for me. So I didn't particularly prepare for SEBI phase one. For the legal part which came in SEBI, also I was actually already like have a good knowledge about the judiciary subjects, and in SEBI phase one, judiciary subjects came the most.
Mm,
So I didn't do any different particularly. So I was able to clear it because it doesn't require much marks, like 30 marks for I believe
paper one.
yeah, paper one, and legal part also like you need to score like 40 or something. So yeah, that
Yes.
was it.
Yes.
For phase two, I would say I didn't got much time because I was not preparing for I only started preparing when I got the results of phase one,
Mm,
the pre. On 11th August, the result came for phase one, and only after that I started preparing for mains. So what I used to do, like, so my studies strategy is pretty clear. So I
mm,
used to write all the things which I need to do, and in how much time span I can do it. So I give myself tasks. So this is the most important thing that for me always works. Whatever I need to do, I write it down. I make a list, and I divide it between days and time that I
mm,
need to give. So in a day, so only in phase two, there are only law subjects which come. They are not maths, English, reasoning, like nothing like that. Only laws and English descriptive, which contains essay, reading comprehension, and pressy. So this was the whole mains which I had to prepare. So I write the things down, make a list. I used to do three laws in a day, and I write a little bit because at this in this time it was pretty different from the earlier times when SEBI used to conduct mains. So this time they also included legal descriptive. So you have to write answers also for legal questions. So I used to prepare for like this, that till evening I'll be like doing like cramming bare acts, like non-stop. I'll cram bare acts, certain number of sections, not all the sections, like not one bare act a day. It was like certain sections of a certain bare act. So there were three bare acts that I used to pick, and I gave them certain time. Okay, I'll do this many sections of this particular bare act, and in the evening I'll write what I have read, and also write like descriptive questions,
Mm,
because I didn't know what kind of question they'll be asking. So I
mm,
used to prepare for companies act related questions, like descriptive questions.
mm,
So this was my whole day. Even I've shared like some pictures with you of how
mm,
I used to prepare my timetable,
mm,
and how will I go by my day. And there was one more exercise that I used to do at night when I go to my bed. I used to think, what are the things that I have done, and am I able to remember them, basically. So this was the exercise that I used to do every night. That
okay.
helped.
So I can summarize it like this, that first you used to study and you are studying the three bare acts simultaneously,
Yeah.
like the sum of the sections of each of them. And then
Mhm.
in the evening you were revising everything that you have studied in the daytime. And then at night you were summarizing everything. So like your whole day was like a month that you are covering, that first you are reading, then you are revising also, then you are summarizing also. So that is a very good exercise that many of the aspirants can follow out there, that usually we put out the revision, that okay, we will read, and we are not revising. So whatever you are reading, you forget after a time. So this is a very good exercise that the aspirants can follow out there.
There is one correction that I want to make. So this mains exam contains also descriptive part. So in the evening with revision, because I used to revise, but
Mm,
I also write the things for descriptive part, like other than the cramming part and everything, because I have to write. So there was
true.
this other part also. Yeah,
So yes, practice is also very important. So
practice
with
is very
revision,
important. Mhm.
practice you have to do, and especially for the descriptive answer writing, like for the objective, you have to bring out the question, like you have to read the question, you have to just tick mark and use your subconscious mind, use your cramming or the revision that you have done. But for descriptive you have to practice a lot. And how helpful it was in the examination, the practice that you did?
It was so it was the only thing that was very helpful. So I bought EduTap's mock, which was very helpful for me. So I used to every day there was this thing which was very clear to me, that I'll give one mock every day,
Mm,
one sectional mock, or and the main mock will be once a week. So this was decided, like in every Saturday or Sunday I'll give one main mock which contains all the subjects and everything, and sectional mocks every day, because it points out what are the mistakes that I'm making. And I personally believe that mocks are very important for any exam. If you're giving mocks, then first of all it will tell you what are the mistakes that you are making. And because I still remember my fellow people who are like preparing for this exam, they used to like forgo the section numbers, like they don't learn section numbers. Or but when I used to give mocks, there were like a lot of section numbers which were coming up.
mm.
So they were telling me, no, how can SEBI ask these kind of questions? But I still learned those questions, and it came handy, because it was because in this at this time, in objective mains, most of the questions were section numbers, like related to
Okay.
section number, like what is section number of this, what is that. So it was pretty helpful.
Okay. So in the phase two, in the legal stream, there were the questions that came from the section numbers, and it was not expected from SEBI because SEBI
Yeah.
usually do not ask that.
Yes.
So we can say that your remembering and memorizing the section numbers actually helped you in the objective part. And in the descriptive, you are practicing continuously. And if you practice the art of writing, so it gets to us easily in the examination also. Otherwise it becomes a little troublesome. And how was the interface, like you had to type the answers, so was there any problem regarding that?
A lot of problem. It was not good at all. So I'll give credit to my college, because in my college there's like a good competition, and also we were taught to write in a certain manner. So I'll say, like for my legal descriptive, I already knew how to write because I used to write research papers also. I've wrote some research papers. I've wrote some articles. And even during my college exams, semester exams, we have to write in a certain manner. Like first, what is the issue and or the introduction, and then what is the law, then what are the facts, and then conclusion. So this is the way that we used to write. So my college played a pretty good role in it because I didn't have to like put many hours into how to write and what to write, and even I didn't even Google what how to write.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was something which my college helped me.
Okay. And so your typing speed was also good?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So coming back to the question, it looks the whole interface of how IBPS conducts or conducts a paper, particularly like descriptive papers. They provide not a very good like interface basically. So sometimes if you type back, like if you go backspace or you have to delete certain word, it somehow deletes the word of a line above the line that you want to delete. I hope I'm
Okay.
making myself clear. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was not at all a good experience. It took a lot of time. So I will suggest everyone who is preparing for descriptive have a good command over a keyboard
Hmm.
and keep on writing on keyboard because it will be very handy for you. It will be useful for you.
Okay. And in the descriptive part of the examination in the legal stream, phase two, so there are five questions that come, and like you have to attempt three.
Yeah.
So, what was the difficulty level of the questions in the descriptive part?
So to my shock, it was not at all difficult.
Mm,
I was hoping that there will be security law related questions. I was really hoping for that, and because I prepared particularly for that also. But there were like questions relating to judiciary wala part, and I'll suggest everyone who thinks that they cannot clear SEBI because they are preparing for judiciary.
mm,
I'm telling you, you can do it. It is very easy to do it because at this in this time, most of the questions were from like who can easily be cleared by judiciary people. So yeah, it was
okay.
pretty good.
And what was the difficulty level of the objective questions?
It was quite difficult. So like as I said, there were questions related to section numbers, and there were some tricky questions also where there can be two or more than two answers for a particular question. So it was quite confusing. But as I said that I've been giving mocks and I've been like cramming. So I did one Bear Act 5 to 6 times in that 1 month. So I was pretty certain that what kind of questions will be asking. So it became pretty easy for me at that time. But still, I faced a little bit of difficulty in deciding because there were some confusing questions. So yeah,
Okay. And what were your main sources for your preparation of the legal stream, the bare acts and the
yeah.
mock?
So only barracks. I didn't like refer any book or I didn't like took any lectures from anyone. Like I didn't like I because personally I feel that coaching is not necessary.
Mm,
But if someone is taking because someone is new to this and want to like know how it is being done, then yes, you can take coaching. But for me, it was not at all necessary because I was already a little bit acquainted with the corporate subjects like companies law, securities law.
mm,
So I was a little bit acquainted with them also. So but I primarily focused upon barracks because the limited resources that you have, if you keep on doing only those resources and revising it like multiple times, you will have an edge over other people.
mm.
So it is something which I think everyone should do. That have a limited resources, focus on barracks, and you're good to go.
Okay. And how important do you think the mock tests are?
I think they are very important. As I said that they will tell you what are the mistakes that you are making and at what place you are in terms of competition.
Mm,
Because you need to understand one thing that you're not the only one who is giving this exam.
mm,
There are people who are giving this exam, and you need to understand that uh, don't ever think that for me it is very it has always helps. Don't think that they're lower than you or they're above you. They're at par with you. You just need to see where you're like making mistakes. So they might be like a little bit ahead of you and they're getting good marks and you're not getting good marks. You just need to do one thing. You just need to pinpoint what are the areas that you are making mistakes. And I did the same thing. So in my first mock, I still remember I got around 56 70 out of 56 out of 70.
Okay.
But I pinpoint what are the problems that I'm making,
Hmm.
and yeah, I got them fixed. So mocks are very important.
Okay. So you have to like understand what the mistakes you are making and then you have to
Yes.
improve because that is the only thing that you can do after giving mocks. You have to analyze the mocks. It's not like that, okay, out of 70, you are getting only 20, 30 and you are disheartened. No, it can
Yeah.
happen and you have to analyze your mistake after that. And the more the marks that you are getting, after that also analyze that what good things you are doing, what questions you are attempting, what logic that you are putting. So they are very, very helpful as you also have said. So now
Mhm.
coming to our next question, let's talk about the interview now. So
Mhm.
we have covered up most of the part of the pre and the mains, but before that, English descriptive is left. So
Yes.
yes. So how like did you practice for the English descriptive or you were like comfortable that okay, English I can write easily?
So I know I did practice for a while, like how to write and what to write. So I used to like listen to YouTube videos, like what are the questions that may ask, and I found a pattern that most of these regulatory body exams or any exam for that matter, they generally ask questions which are happening. So if we talk about essay, so in essay they generally will ask questions related to the recent happening. So so the essay topics which came in my exam was G20 mental health, because G20 at that time was happening.
Mm,
So we need to just be acquainted with what are the things that are happening, and we need to prepare 8 to 10 essays. So I personally prepared 8 to 10 essays, which I was very sure that in these sets of topics one will come, and I like prepared them pretty well.
mm,
For Pressy, I didn't do much because I just need to summarize what a whole article. So yeah,
mm,
for RC, so I'll suggest one thing. Every candidate who is giving this exam should attempt RC first, reading comprehension first, because it is very lengthy, and it contains like most of the marks.
mm,
And you cannot take the risk of leaving any question, because the moment you leave one question, there will be some other person who is like ahead of you. So, and English plays a very big role, even though people say, oh, it is only one third of the whole marks.
mm.
But I'll say, no, it is very important. Point one mark is also very important. So even
True.
though it contains a very less margin, first do RC and complete it, and then essay and then everything. Yeah.
Okay. So, so like you have suggested, like in the descriptive English of the phase two, you have to focus on the RC first, and then you can focus on the essay and the Pressy. So
Yes.
RC, they are very lengthy. Like I have heard from the other aspirants also, it came very lengthy and it was very technical, scientific also. So,
Yes.
so yes, it can happen that the RC is very complicated. So just start with it and complete it. Then you have time for essay and Pressy. And did you face any problem in the interface at that time? Like everything was smooth, or did you face any trouble?
I did face like much trouble, because my at that time my keyboard was not working. So I called the invigilator and I asked them, please like change the keyboard. So in this process, my like 2 or 3 minutes were already gone, and I was like literally panicking at that time, because I was not sure that I'll be able to clear English descriptive, because like a lot of time was already went into reading and everything. But luckily I got through it. But so the my practice beforehand, the essays that I have prepared, like they saved a lot of time, because I was already prepared for the G20 essay, and I wrote on G20 in like less than 5 minutes, because I like already crammed it, the whole essay all about 300 words I guess I wrote. And for RC, yes, uh, I couldn't write, like I completed the whole 5 questions, because in my head I was very clear that whatever I'll complete the whole questions. But for the last 2 questions of RC, I couldn't write much, but I still wrote like 2 or 3 lines.
Okay. Okay. So we can say that anything can happen during the examination. Like one example that I know that the PC shut down of the person,
Okay.
and in your case, the keyboard was not working. So yes, things can happen, and you have to be prepared about it. Like you cannot go to the authority and say that conduct my exam again. So
Yeah.
you have to be prepared for
Mhm.
whatever is happening at that time. Now let's move to the interview part. So how was the panel, and how was your experience?
So should I suggest the interview preparation, then should I talk about the interview panel?
Yes, let's start from there then. So, did you give any mock interview, first of all?
I don't remember. So yeah, there was this one guy who was a senior to me. I gave him a mock interview. So he told me a lot, many things that needs to be prepared, like to be improved, particularly like for like from my communication, to what should I speak and what should I not speak.
Mm,
So my preparation is very important for anyone who is listening, because for particularly for interview, because you need to like you need to specify what are the things that you are going to speak. You cannot just like say everything and anything about it. So you need to be specific, because they don't have much time and you are there to present your whole life towards them within 15 to 20 minutes. So my interview went like within from the range of 15 to 20 minutes. And in that time span, I need to like explain them what who I am and answer their questions also. So yes, it was. So I gave a mock interview. He told me that what to say and what not to say. Other than this, I prepare like what SEBI is, what is the history of SEBI, and generally what are the questions that are going to ask in say in interview is about you only, who you are, what you have done, and if you have any experience like work experience, what are the things that you have done and how is it relevant to SEBI. So these are the primarily the questions that will be asked to any candidate who is sitting there giving interview. And the same happened to me also. So I have an experience in thoda bahut corporate and online arbitration dispute resolution. So they were asking me, throwing questions like at me about in these area only and how it will be relevant to SEBI, and is SEBI doing something related to online arbitration or something like that. So, but for me, interview panel was very chill. Like they were actually like smiling and giving me time to speak, and they even offered me water when I like a little bit like stuttered in between. They were like quite amicable.
mm,
So I was lucky enough to have those, and I was fourth in the number basically
okay.
at the first day. So my interview was at the first day, and I was fourth in number.
Mm. Okay. So, did you prepare the SEBI website also?
Yeah, I did. So they may like so I was told beforehand that they may ask what is the recent thing that SEBI is doing. So I was so like for example at that time Sahara was in news. Sahara
Mm,
scam was in news, and SEBI was also coming up with something online arbitration and everything. So I prepared that also, and I
mm,
also prepared that what are the orders of SEBI. However, it is not very necessary to do orders of SEBI, but I still did it like in case if they ask, and I had like a lot of time to prepare for interview. So
okay. And were there any questions in the final interview regarding the SEBI website?
no, not at all, not even
Okay.
one. So as I told you, if you're giving interview, you need to be very clear about what you have done.
Mm,
So it will be completely based on that also, and a little bit about uh, what if SEBI starts doing that. Like basically SEBI says section numbers, what the SEBI Act says. So you need to be
mm,
clear upon corporate part also.
okay. And like, were there any questions regarding the news around SEBI, not
Yeah.
from SEBI website? If
Yeah, yeah. So as I said, there were questions with regards to Sahara scam
mm,
and online arbitration, because at that time these two were like hot topics which were happening.
okay.
So yeah, Sahara scam was happening. So they asked me question on that also.
Mm.
Yeah,
So we can say even if you are not very thorough with the SEBI website, like the notifications, press releases, and such, you have to be thorough about what is going on and around SEBI, especially
yeah,
in the news articles.
yeah.
Like because you should be aware the general awareness that is out there or the news articles that are out there. So now, can you share some of the questions that were asked in the interview, like how you entered and what were you feeling starting
Okay.
from there?
So I'll add one more thing also in the interview with regards to interview preparation. You need to be very specific in what you are preparing for. So
Mm,
I was told that, oh, you need to prepare like, so SEBI also deals in a very more like many technicalities for that matter which are not specific to legal.
mm,
So I was So when I started preparing, I was like actually reading everything that was coming. But then I realized that no, I have to like be specific and prepare for legal related things that are in news. So
mm,
I started doing that because someone told me that no, oh no, you need to prepare for alternative investment fund. Like these questions, like what is alternative investment fund? Like you can have some idea, but you need not focus everything upon it. You just need to
mm,
stick to the syllabus that has been provided to you and who you are and what you have done in your life. So for me, so firstly I was asked to introduce myself. and the introduction was cannot go more than 30 seconds or 40 seconds. So you need to like be very specific. So I prepared my like what I'm going to say in my introduction बहुत पहले से ही. But then they asked me question on my work experience and what I have done and why I left the organization that I was in. And then, so as I have experience in online arbitration and litigation funding, so they asked me what is litigation funding and can it help SEBI in some sense, or or like what is online arbitration, or and like how can SEBI facilitate any arbitration dispute? So these were the questions, like these. So these are very pretty technical questions, and
Hmm.
that is why I'm saying that you need to be prepared for what kind of question that may be asked, and you need to be prepared for technicalities also, because people say, oh no, interviews are like primarily upon who you like, your personality, but it is like I believe it is more than that also. They're also checking your knowledge. For me it was the same, and it for my like people who I was like studying with, or who was like there for to give interview, they face the same technical questions also. So yeah, it was there, but I stuck in two or three questions primarily. But like you need to be very honest at that time. You can say, sir, I ma or ma'am, I don't know, but I'll read upon it. So they'll understand, they'll move on to another topic.
Hmm. So we can say that yes, there were technical questions, and were there any HR based questions or questions on your hobbies and such?
No. So for me it was pretty technical, and I've not heard from anyone
Hmm.
that they were asked HR question little like what are your hobbies, what do you do,
Hmm.
what your father do.
Hmm.
So I have not heard, because like we use, so after interview, all the people who have given the interview, we used to talk like what are the questions that is asked to you. But I have not heard from anyone that they were asked like what are your hobbies, or are you religious, or do you play something. So yeah, no, it
Okay.
was pretty technical. I'll be
Yeah.
honest on in this part. Hmm.
So we can say that whatever the experience that you have, the place that you are working related, that the questions can be
Yeah,
asked, as well as the technical questions directly from your syllabus or directly from the legal stream, they will be asked because you are chosen in for SEBI for a particular work, we
reason,
can
yeah.
say. Yeah.
I'll
So
add one thing if that's
yes.
okay. Yeah. So so when I was discussing with my friend that what are the questions that was asked to him, so so the panel member like refused to take his interview. Like so even after 2 or 3 minutes, like he was asked to leave. The reason is that he asked the panel that you cannot ask me question on the securities law or the company law. You should ask me question on the judiciary part, like family law or constitutional law, which is ideally should not be said to the panel members, because obviously it is particular firstly very rude, and secondly you are here for SEBI, and SEBI primarily works in corporate structures. So you cannot just say you ask me question on this also. And there are two aspirants who did this mistake, and they were asked to leave like within 2 or 3 minutes. So I'll suggest anyone that even if you're preparing for judiciary, or you do not have a corporate background, I'll suggest make your background corporate, or like
Hmm.
work towards it. This is not an option that you say, oh no, you cannot ask me question.
Yes, true. And even if you do not know the answer of any question, you can say that, you can politely say that, sir, I'm not aware about this,
Yes.
and I will get to know about this surely after you have drawn my attention towards this. So, yes, you should be able to handle the things politely, I can say.
Yes.
So, that is also a very good advice that Ashutosh has given to all the aspirants, that they are taking your interview, not vice versa. So, you should not be asking the questions as such. So, this is the end of the session now. And any message for the aspirants out there, like your legal stream brothers, sisters?
I'll say keep grinding, keep have a faith in yourself. Not everyone will go through this exam, but some people will like get through this exam. So have a good mindset. If you're like facing any trouble with regards to like mental health, get it fixed like by doing some other activities. Find a hobby, but also do not leave and do not listen to many people. Just focus on your studies, what you are doing. That's fine. That's it that I can say.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for coming. It was wonderful talking to you. And the aspirants must have learned a lot from you. The advices that you have given were wonderful. Thank you for
I
coming.
hope I was for some use.
Yes, surely, surely. So, thank you
Okay.
so much for coming.